Hey, there we are. Technical difficulties this New Year's Day. Hope everyone had a great New Year's. If nothing else, non-hangover New Year's. Uh, Hello, Joe, Loretta. Wait, who else? Last Prepper Standing, Militant Roots. It's good to see you all. Happy New Year. Um, Almost blew a tree apart with a shotgun when I'm taking care. Almost blew a tree apart. Well, that doesn't sound good. Hey, William, how are you? So, Arkansas Living, what's going on? How y'all doing? I'll give everybody a minute as I get sorted here. I I'm normally have my office set up, and then I have my work laptop and my personal, like my MacBook, which is my fun computer, which is what I do a lot of stuff on. And I swapped them, and then I swapped them back, and there were wires everywhere. So I was sitting here kind of trying to figure out why my camera wouldn't turn on and my headset wasn't on. So that was always fun. Um, roaming, so roaming. Joe, I'm really curious about why a tree exploded. That's super that's super cool. That's a hell of a New Year's day for sure. Good Lord. Um, Guys, it's gonna get cold across the country. Those of you who are up north, you're already cold out there, but it's we're gonna have some weather changing, folks. And hey, Stuart, what's going on? Yeah, and hey, home too. And William, hold on. Arkansas, hello, hello. Did I miss anyone? I thought I had everyone. Okay, I gotta admit, Stuart went back to the old sword, the bloody sword with the arm and whatnot. And at first, I was like, "Wait, where does little come and get it go?" And it's been a while now. He's had his old icon there. Arkansas living getting cold down there. It's 32 now. It was 54 at noon. Amigo, we're gonna go into the 20s in uh in West Texas, and we're south of Arkansas for sure where I am. Although not by much apparently. I'm good. I found this really interesting. This stupid thing keeps popping screens here. Here we go. I'm going to share this this screen if I can make it play nice, because this is a good example of being able to do the things. Take care of business below 30 tomorrow. Yeah, an LSP. If you're where I think you are, you're literally, if I recall correctly, you're literally no, 6 hours almost straight east from me. So yeah, it's I found this map, this interactive map, and it's on Microsoft, America's favorite company, but it's actually a badass map. Like whoever made this did real good. Um, by the way, we could all go to I wouldn't go to Haiti, no. Could go to Havana, 72 there, Merida or Quintana Rio, what is that? Campeche, those are all in the 70s. That's nice. I'm going to play the temperatures for you, just so you guys can see what's coming, because I think this is going to be relevant. This is a short-term prep situation that we should all be able to adjust for. So 50-degree over by Stewart, still pretty warm. Chicken lights on. I'm assuming those are like the regular incandescent light that actually give heat, not the stupid LED ones. But I need to talk to my son about he was an FFA chicken competitor, if you will. He used to raise show chickens and broilers and all that. So he's got his wealth of knowledge in his young mind about raising chickens. Let me see if I can get this fun thing going here, because it's being jerky for a minute for some reason. Let's see. Nah, it doesn't want to play. We'll give it a minute, and It's 3 degrees. Well, you're up north too. The high today is 21. Ooh. All right, let's see if we can get this fun started again. I may have to shrink this screen down so it's not taking up so much bandwidth. Give me a second here. All right, let's see if we can do it now. Let's share. Hey, Caribbean, how are you? Okay, so let's share that. And so this should give a time lapse of the temperature that we should be seeing in the next few days if it decides, yeah, no. So right now, as of this point in time, it's -1 in Denver. Okay, and here's the so as you can see, it starts by 2 p.m. Sunday. It's going to be in the 20s in Dallas, 20s in West Texas, San Antonio be 37. It's kind of jumping. It's not being very smooth in its transition. But what we're looking at going into Monday, late Monday, sorry, is you're going to wind up in the 20s in the evening, as far south as Houston. Houston's under freeze warning. They'll be in the very low 30s, very high 20s. So we're looking at a lot of cold air coming in from the north, obviously. And when you get into Tuesday at 9 or 7 p.m., and you're going to start seeing that cold front come down. It's a lot of bandwidth even on my internet, so it's not pulling down very quickly. But yeah, I'm going to end up like. All right, that's probably one of the better one-liners I've seen from Joe this week. Yeah, I could see that. I got to rewatch that movie. Um, it's a long movie, and every time I get into it, uh, something happens. I got to go to the store, I get a phone call, and I forget to pause it, and then I miss a whole section, and I get frustrated and stop watching it. So I probably need to watch that today. Um, yeah, so basically, I guess Joe hide the axes. But yeah, so we're looking at pretty rough weather. Let's see what USA Today says. I show low 20s here Monday morning so far. Now there's supposed to be some precipitation with this, and that's kind of worrisome because that's when people forget that ice is slippery and they start crashing and driving like idiots. USA Today, tornadoes. Oh, that's new. Flooding and other severe weather are expected on Saturday night to continue plaguing parts of the South, caught between a winter storm to the northwest and balmy weather to the southeast, which is not super surprising. So, yeah, they're expecting some kind of funky weather out there. Uh, Barb, it's going to be cold here in Louisiana. Yes, I'm pretty sure of it. I know my brother's in Louisiana, and heck, they're still repairing from the damn hurricane, that last hurricane, much less having to deal with the cold. So they've got sections of insulation that have to be put back in. The sheetrock's not quite done. So yeah, if guys, and that's important. If your home is being repaired for whatever reason, try to, you know, I guess insulate or mitigate it as much as you can. You got about 24 hours before this, maybe less, before this really cold weather comes in. Um, hasn't been acting much like winter this year in my area. Yeah, he's off the coast, so he took the brunt of that one. Not off the coast, it's probably an hour inland, but it was enough where he took a good whack. But like I said, we can all just have a prepper convention down in Havana, assuming Fidel doesn't throw us all in jail. The weather's nice. until the next hurricane comes and breaks Cuba. But uh, yeah, the weather's been weird. The weather's been strange. It's been super windy out here. Um, Probably more so than it has been in the past. Uh, that's just some strange stuff. The Yeah, it's I don't know if those of you did any of you catch Angry Prepper's video. He did a short video about how did he phrase it? That weird feeling everyone has like something's coming, something's gonna break, but we can't quite put our finger on it because nobody understands the whole picture. That weather, this whole strange weather thing is kind of, in my mind, adds to that feeling where you're just constantly feeling, the hell. But weather's something you can prep for, guys. A lot of us have covered it on the different channels. So give me that bat, the bat, Shelley. Okay, so Joe would like a Lucille bat for next Christmas. You know, with the barbed wire and the little inscription on it, whatever it is. Uh, let's see. My internet's not playing nicely. We're having a hella windstorm here, guys. So my went to get out of my truck and the door flew open on Sassy, about put her on her butt. It pretty much pulled her out of the truck because we opened our doors at the same time, and we've got about 50-mile-an-hour gusts right now. So I went in my door and went out hers, and she's much smaller than me, and it almost took her right out into the other car. So watch those winds if you're going to be traveling. Let me see if I can get these articles up. They just don't seem to want to play today. I may have offended the gods of the internet. Or maybe not. Let's see. Come on now. There we go. So, all right. Well, while I try and get the weather back, I found another article I wanted to share with y'all. Um, this one's from CNN. So we spoke a lot about 2022, what's going to happen. Energy prices going up, a food price is going to stabilize. Oh, see, and I missed half the movie, so I'm kind of getting bits and pieces of the references. I got to go watch it again. Uh, all right, gang. So right now, we've been talking a lot about. Let's see if I got this screen up right. Bingo. Let me make the little dude. There we go. Okay, so CNN's analyst from CNN Business, which I think they're pretty decent. They don't get tuned to the politics; they're more along the money. Uh, and as I've said before, the economy and commerce is absolutely relevant to preparedness, because when commerce sucks for whatever reason, it could be the Rona, it could be Godzilla, commerce and trade start going down the toilet, is when you start seeing people start to suffer, and then you see those freakouts. Um, Look at what happened in 2020, right? The Rona appeared, they shut down the economy. All of a sudden, stuff ran out, and people punched each other for toilet paper. So, according to this analyst, they expect prices to keep soaring. I don't know if they're using that word to be really to cause people to freak out more. America is finishing the year with decades high inflation. That doesn't bode well for 2022. Prices have climbed so high it would take some time for them to come back down to earth. The most recent price data we have is from November, when two of the most widely watched inflation measures, the Consumer Price Index and the Personal Consumption Expenditure Index, uh, each climbed to a 39-year high. Uh, that's the later index is what the Federal Reserve pays the most attention to when assessing inflation. There's some room for optimism. The central bank, which is tasked with keeping prices stable, is rolling back its pandemic stimulus and is expected to raise interest rates next year. Uh, what you're seeing is these latent effects from the shutdown, people not working, geopolitics, trade getting screwed up. Also, the price of energy, especially in the Western economies, has spiked, and we're going to keep seeing that. So again, if you know stuff like this is coming, now I don't know, I don't have the amenities to stock a bunch of fuel on my property. The subdivision would frown on me having basically a gas bomb on my in my backyard. But if you have the means, you can store some fuel. But hey, what's going on, Heroic? And by the way, check out his channel as well. There are a couple other channel creators in here. So Arkansas, I believe, has a channel. So yeah, if y'all, if the mods, you want to take a few minutes, just throw some of the channels in there. That would be great. Um, you're gonna keep seeing this latent effect from all this stupidity. And then, to be fair, we pumped a bunch of money into the market, right? We put a bunch of oh, well, that's a fire. I don't want to talk about a fire right now. Um, we pumped a bunch of money, basically fiat money, into the economy, right? We were just printing stimulus checks for families, which they needed. But now you have all this money. And again, the value of the currency is a function of GDP and the number of money units, dollars in circulation, as well as the velocity of the money, which means its exchange rate, how often it changes hands, which is an indicator of commerce. Well, if it's not being used in commerce and you're just pooping out dollars, but the economy is not growing, each dollar is worth less. So each widget, whatever your widget is that you're going to buy, is going to cost you more. Uh, next to Joe's having fun with some neighbors there. Coyote Turd Brown House. Man, that is a very graphically detailed color reference. I can't recall the last time I actually have seen a coyote turd, but that's so. Guys, they're already predicting. We just started the year, and they say, and then there's Omicron, and Omicron is for the most part turning out to be a lot of nothing. Um, I'm trying to figure out what happened to. So we had Alpha, Beta. What happened to Gamma? Then there was Delta, and Epsilon disappeared, and all of a sudden there was an Omicron. Like they were skipping entire letters in the Greek alphabet. So did those go out there? That I mean, are they out there, and where'd the flu go? I'm just so curious. I have so many questions. Um, but I digress, and I'm having a squirrel moment. Uh, yeah, we're gonna keep seeing that. So guys, right now, so I went to the stores today, and I didn't take a video. There's a lot of stuff on sale. The stores tried to go back to that old model. Yeah, basically, they're and oh, and here's a good question for you. Why is AOC signing off on mask mandates in New York and then going to Florida and having margaritas with her buddies? Because she got caught. And if you haven't seen that picture, I'll try and find it. Um, I just think it's funny. It's like, really? Ooh, do I? That's a good question. Okay, first, what is that? Loretta? Oh, squirrels. Okay. I was like, why did you put white rats? What? Okay. I don't have my glasses, so it looks like little white rats. Oh, that's a good question. Um, Mandate for large businesses. I don't know how they do it. Um, I guess they could do it through OSHA saying it's a work, uh, which is probably how they're going to get a lot of companies, is saying it's a work environment and OSHA has decreed X and therefore you must do it. But on the flip side, there's going to be a penalty, right? Because if they push it and people say, no, I'm out, uh, and yeah, and it's not a law, it's a mandate, right? So they're going to challenge and say, well, it wasn't passed by Congress. So that's one avenue of challenge. Hey, Virginia Roots, how are you? There she is. Woo. Um, so one is to challenge it and say, well, it's not a law, it's just the president telling me to do stuff, and it needs to be a law. Um, and then it would force it back into Congress, which won't go very far. I'm trying to think legally speaking, and from an OSHA environment, which I've worked in, they could mandate it on the basis of kind of like tetanus shots, that, well, it's a workplace exposure. But then someone could challenge that even on the basis of, well, what's the fatality risk of the Omega, Omicron, whatever the hell Megatrons out there, versus milkmaid, same as wearing hard hat. Yeah, and that's what my thought is. They may take that route to try and force people as an OSHA safety thing, but then they're going to have to justify it, right? Like you could go and say, well, before the use of hard hats, X thousands of people got whacked on the head and they died or became disabled or retarded because they screwed themselves up. But how will they say that for the cootie? The cootie is they're still learning, so I don't know. That is a really good question. So one struck it down and one, that's what I thought. The first one struck it down and the federal judge, another, upheld it. Hey, Hava. Whilst cooking dinner, she's got the fancy words out today. Okay, what are you cooking today? Because you guys know I do foodie videos. By the way, should I do another cooking video, like sautéed salmon with broccolini or something like that? It's been a hot minute since I did like a live in the kitchen. So yeah, let me know if I don't know if, what do you put, a thumbs up or a one or whatever, if you think I should do one of those in the next few weeks. Maybe something that involves eating healthier than we probably all have been the last 3 weeks. Because I don't know, I love cooking and I love eating. So, but if I eat the wrong things, there's a consequence to that, I think, for all of us. So, okay, well, that was a resounding yes to healthy eating. Okay, because I did a roasted broccoli yesterday. It was sautéed salmon. That actually was a midterm prep. The salmon had been seasoned, sealed, and frozen over 6 months ago, and it was awesome. It was fresh cut when I got it. I got the whole side of the salmon. It was probably a good 13-inch cut, and I portioned it out and I vacuum sealed it, and into the freezer it went. And I'm trying to cycle stuff out. So, Bug Dude. Oh, who's sick? Oh, wait. Few variants hitting people at the same time. Voltronicron. Oh, yeah. Oh, the variant's getting two at once. God, I swear I got it like at the beginning of 2020. Hey, NC girl, how are you? Oof. From a business perspective, I would update your resume now. Uh, and I subbed in for a recruiter at a Fortune 500. I was an engineer, but I knew the recruiter. They're like, I'm going on vacation. Can you take my calls? And it was absolute chaos for like 3 days. Um, yeah, there was like, he went online and there was like 5 million resumes came up every other day. Update your resume, and oof, 17-year governor. See, and I think that pisses me off the most because they're saying there's a shortage of workers. We're inundating our hospitals, and at the same time, they've let go a boatload of very qualified professionals who probably already got the cootie while they were treating people the last year and a half. But now they're expedient. They're politically expendable, and some of them are people I know, and that pisses me off. So yeah, it's wow, Roots. That's pretty. Turkish seasoned chicken cutlets. Oh, yum. Siki sauce. That's like it's like a white yogurt sauce, right? It's like kind of tangy. Um, oh, that does sound yummy. Dag, now you got no hummus to go with it, because I mean you have the naan bread, you have to have the hummus. But anyway, yeah, I love Mediterranean food. That's a happy place for me. So that's a really good question. It's gonna be we're gonna battle that. It depends how the SCOTUS rules, but also how the case is presented. Okay, because you can take a case before a Supreme Court. I actually, when I finished my grad school, I actually one of my electives was medical law. I had to take some obscure, like you know how you get those electives that have nothing to do with what you do professionally or for your degree, but they make you take this shit anyway. And I took that, and I actually thought that was one of the better classes I took. Um, the yeah. Oh wow. And there's something else that goes with that dish. Uh, the green thing, made from that green wheat. It's gonna bug me now. I can't remember what it is. Anyway, you may know. Um, this really that really agitates me. Uh, why? What are we doing? I wonder if they want to run people off so they don't have to pay your retirement. I mean, think about it. You run a bunch of people off now, you don't have to pay their retirement because they were not in compliance, and then you can go and you put Rona cootie patients in with the old folks, which contaminated the old folks' home, and you killed a bunch of them too. Yeah, that's not right. Is this something? Yeah, I'm I'm proud of these folks, but it breaks my heart. Um, if folks want to get meds, that should be a private decision, with the understanding these are very new meds. These look, the flu vaccine took 5 to 10 years to develop to where it was functional, if I recall correctly. And comparing, somebody said, "Well, you take polio. Why don't you?" No, polio, German measles are very slow or non-evolving, right? So the German measles has not changed in its natural form in what apparently like 800 not 800 years, sorry, about 100 years. When they first identified it to the time they found the vaccines and whatnot, it didn't change. This type of virus, the coronaviruses, the influenzas, they change. Flus are about an 8 to 14 month mutation cycle. That's why every year you get like, you have H1N1, and all of a sudden you have like H1N2. It's basically N1, and it tweaked itself into something different. Coronaviruses are the common cold. I bet the cold we all used to get 4 years ago, when it hit the people in a renaissance or whatever, probably killed millions of people then, and then it went through humanity, and we paid the dividend for their deaths, and the rest of us are now immune or can survive that illness. Uh, they have to be in the mood for hummus. Tabbouleh, yes, thank you, Hava. God, Tabbouleh, thank you. I was sitting here going, "What the heck?" I can see the food in my mind's eye. Yeah. Uh, so speaking of that, and so a few weeks ago, I kind of did a video on my my colleague telling me that his wife got attacked on walking down the street. Uh, and Loretta, yeah, definitely feel better. Is Loretta the one who was just saying she's not feeling awesome? Sorry, I got too many screens here. I'm kind of getting bug-eyed. Uh, so my colleague's wife got attacked. For those of you who may not have seen that video, because I was on a really good rant that night. I had all sorts of bad words to say. Um, give you the Cliff Notes version. They finish a late lunch, middle of the day in Denver, walking down the main drag. If any of you have seen Denver, the downtown area, and hey, farmer's son, welcome, welcome. And a individual was walking behind them. They stopped, I guess, for a traffic light. They were waiting for the pedestrian signal. The guy comes up next to, so he's on the opposite end of my colleague's wife. So it's my colleague, his wife, and Mr. X over here. And the dude just gets like almost down on his knees and comes up and like backhands his wife for absolutely no reason. And takes her off her feet. She hits her head on the concrete and gets a concussion. Fortunately, when he swung at her, he miscalculated or lost his balance. Uh, Seriously, they're working with mild symptoms. Well, they have to now because if they run them off, who's going to work? They just fired half the damn staff of everything. That's buckhole. But in any, yeah, that's exactly my sentiment. Anyway, the guy, when he struck her, actually hit her in the chest. He didn't hit her in the face, which is what he apparently was aiming at. Hit her in the chest, and then I guess as his arm went through the motion, the hand, the fist went from hitting her in the chest right around the sternum, went up, hit her in the face, and kind of clocked her in the eye. But she was already going down, so kind of a glancing blow. But she hit her head, got a concussion, so he went down because he was holding his wife's hand, so he goes down, but the guy fell. I guess he lost his balance, and of course, my colleague was all over the guy, and they're fighting. And he said there were people on the street. I've seen things like that in Texas where somebody will do something stupid, and they need to run. Like if they do the crime, they got to bolt because if they don't, basically any citizen who is within a reasonable distance who is mobile is going to converge on that person and they're going to go down. Uh, but apparently, he's on the floor. He's fighting the guy. People are putting their cameras like right up to him so he can't. Like he said, he was struggling with the guy and he's getting hit on the head by cameras because they're trying to get his face going, "We're videotaping you. You're beating a homeless guy." And he said, "He just attacked my wife. Somebody help me hold him down." So we've created this mentality in society that hey Monique, how are you? That it's okay to be like that. No. So moving on, he fights with the guy, and then a local football coach or wrestling coach comes and says, "Hey, look, I can't get involved. I'm a local coach. I'm not supposed to get involved in this kind of stuff, but I'm going to help you." So that him and another guy, an old man and woman from Kentucky, the wife went to help my colleague's wife, and the old man grabbed like one leg, and they kind of splayed him out and pinned him, and then my coworker sat on him and kind of had him down. And then the other folks are like, "Look, we can't stay here." And the coach left. The folks from Kentucky stayed to give a statement to the cops, and but he said nobody helped, man. it just blew his mind. And we've created this environment where people can do this in the last couple of years since this cootie has shown up. It's been a slow decay of behavior, but there was consequences. And after 2020, there was no consequences. People just did shit. Uh, so now we've got like somebody just pointed out here, bug. Yeah, Denver is caca. It's just who wants to go there. By the way, this dude that they arrested was the fourth time he's done that. He was randomly, so the fifth actually. So the first time apparently he hit a dude, and it turned out that the dude was a Navy vet and had boxed for the Navy, and the guy just pummeled this guy to the ground, right? So that obviously punching random men who have military training was a bad idea. So he started hitting females. So he was specifically targeting of the four cases besides the Navy guy who pounded him into the ground, which he didn't repeat, by the way. See, consequence. He may be nuts in his head, but he's not stupid, right? He tried something and he got a bad consequence. Denver is caca. It used to be a great town. But in any case, he's been targeting females between, how did he say it was like between 30 and 50. So basically, like, professional aged women. And specifically, he wasn't going after the ones that were jogging. Apparently, he ran after a jogger and the jogger just took off. So obviously, he wasn't in shape. He was targeting business women who were walking and completely unaware and just clobbering them. Uh, but I find it funny that the first person he hit was an old Navy guy who pummeled him to the ground, and he didn't do it again. Again, there was an immediate consequence. Then he got arrested. So anyway, they have a hearing, and the jerk gets off $500 bond, and they let him out. So, then 48 hours later, I hear the story from my coworker, and I'm like, how's your wife? Because she's not a big gal. And he said, she's good. He said, physically, she'll recover in, a week or two. The doctor said he's lucky he didn't hit her square in the face. He said that impact she had on her chest, the way the bruising was, he said had he hit her in the snout, he'd have broken the nose and probably knocked every tooth out of her jaw right on this side. Um, but she lucked out. But now she has an emotional scar from that. Um, and my colleague is upset. I mean, somebody clobbered the mother of his kids, and Jerkface is running around again. By now, he's probably beat up somebody else's wife. Uh, so yeah, so we have this happening in these cities, and New York finally seems to have gotten a kind of a clue and decided we're going to elect a former cop. Uh, so we'll see how this guy works out for the people of New York. Let me see if I can get that up on the screen here. But New York Mayor Eric Adams jumped headfirst into tackling the city's rising crime when he himself called 911 to report an assault while taking the subway to work. Hey, American Gypsy, how are you? Great, thanks. Well, and see, that's the thing. I don't know what the laws are in Colorado versus here. Um, excuse me, guys. But yeah, the fact it had that happened in Texas or Oklahoma, some of the more red states, um, well, he certainly would have gotten a beating. Uh, so anyway, the mayor actually called in. I don't know if I can get audio on this. It's just him on the phone. Oh, damn! Look at. Do you see those? Hold on. Hold on. I want to move that back. That guy's beating up some dude over here. That's not very nice. And hold on. I'm trying to. There he goes. He's beating up that guy. So now this guy is a former cop, and the laws. Yeah. See, now I've taught Monique Spanish obscenities, and now she's going to start saying them to her friends up there, and they'll be like, "What's wrong with you?" But no, it's good because sometimes you can say those things in front of kids who don't speak Spanish, and they won't know what you're saying. Unfortunately, then they'll repeat it in front of like your pastor or something at a church function. So yeah, that's a fear, and that's why you're seeing a lot of states taking the feds to court everywhere. Actually, at one point, the the governor of Texas, the ATF did something the state of Texas didn't like, and it was unannounced. Normally, there's some like cordial notification, hey, we have to conduct this business, and they didn't, and they arrested the wrong person. And the governor, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, got upset. So he instructed the Texas Rangers that if the ATF does not obey not only Texas law, but their own law, the Fed, that the Rangers would arrest the ATF agent. So then, of course, the regional director of the ATF had to drive over to Austin and try and sort it out. So, hey, Red, what's going on? So, true story. We went to a county market just before the holidays, and I saw an old cowboy. And when I say an old cowboy, uh, the overalls, the shirt, he had the dip and the old hat. And this man must have been in his. When I say old, he was into retirement age, and he was open carrying an old school. There's a Spanish guy too, an old school John Wayne holster with the single action Colt in 357. Because I asked him in the leather holster, like cowboy style. In the middle of the market, he's just walking by, and the sheriff's standing there with some of the officers. They're kind of patrolling around, and they're like, "Hey, Joe, hey, sheriff," and they just kept walking. Uh, hey, Lucky. Um, oh, Red, you would have loved. I know you love the a lot of the old heritage type stuff from our state, and I mean, it was the emblazoned belt. He didn't have the rounds on the left side like the old westerns used to show, but he had it was drop hip, probably right under his jeans pocket, and it was a single action Colt style. I asked him, and he said it was a 357 because 45 long Colts a pain to kind of find in the stores. But and Lucky is here. Wait, I lost Lucky. There she is. Woo. But of course, in this part of the state, you don't have. Who are we talking about? Oh, it was old man at one of the county fairs we stopped at on our way back from Houston. It was in Hyco or Dublin. It was one of the little towns right around. If it was south of Dallas and north of Austin ish. I don't know. That doesn't help because that's a huge piece of land. But anyway, we are talking about real text. Okay, well, whatever Grandpa still carries is probably exactly what this old man had. Um, and it was a well-worn belt. So you can, and the pistol was well-worn. So obviously, uh, the old man had owned that firearm for a very long time. So I wouldn't have screwed with him because I'm sure after 30, 40 years of carrying that thing around, he's probably damn accurate. Uh, yeah, I know, Lucky. That not. I didn't give you. Sorry, Barb. Uh, it's, um, open to a lot of it was a lot of little towns, but you know the general area I'm talking about. Kind of in that hill. Lucky is a real Texan. I'll tell you what, some of the adopted Texans, Red, are as Texan, if not more Texas-ish than some folks I've seen here. Um, Llano Blanco. Okay, yeah, no, I don't remember. It was I swear it was in Heiko, but I might be wrong. Anyway, no, a little further northeast, like you're going back toward almost like if it was I'm not, but I like Texas better than Atlanta. Well, yeah, I've been through Atlanta. That was one of two cities I actually drew a firearm on someone, was Atlanta and in San Antonio. That it got something when you try to de-escalate and it goes that far sideways that quickly, it's like, okay, no, it's time to. Yes, it was in that general area. It was one of the towns. I don't remember exactly because we'd been on the road, 9 hour, 10 hours, and then we were coming the other way, and I was kind of zonked. But that's how people say hello in Atlanta these days. That's East Texas. That's like Louisiana, where if it's not south of I-10, it's North Louisiana. Everything south of I-10 is South Louisiana. But yeah, so the mayor of New York is reinstituting the anti-gang unit, which AOC hated. Um, he's reinstituting since they kind of went to no cash bail because they said it was unfair. What he's doing for misdemeanors, so what he's doing is telling the cops charge him for a felony, and now they're crying about that. And he says we're going to put him in jail if you're punching people in the street. We're going to lock you up. I don't care what you just don't do that. So, but the new mayor of New York has a long road to clean up the city again. Um, Shreveport, Shreveport is in Louisiana. Yeah, that's Shreveport is East Texas. So yeah, that mayor. I don't envy his position. The good thing is he's got the support of the cops, and for the most part, he's got the support of the public, who got tired of being mugged because of the last guy they elected. So maybe a clue is occurring in the Northeast. I'm not holding my breath. I think this is just a moment of clarity for those folks. But yeah, it's that was just not that's not going to be an easy fix for these guys. Uh, so there was for pre-Cold War state. Hold on, I had an article here I wanted to share with y'all. No, I cannot find it, and that's agitating me. Bear with me just a second. Uh, Osama bin Laden. Why are they even bringing that guy up? Okay, so here it is. Texas claims most of Louisiana. Stuart, honestly, at this point, I think you've had so many. Hello, Arlith, and oh, there's Arlith. Yeah, I don't think Louisiana or Texas want Shreveport. That's pretty awful place. Not knocking the people there, but that downtown area is raunchy. It's just that's the meth capital of Louisiana. Um, so yeah, it's so we took them in during Katrina. So yeah, it's a rough place. A lot of places. So at least New York's trying to clean up their act. Um, I suspect you're going to see New Mexico got clobbered. And you're going to see New Mexico, Arizona start going the same way. All bets are off with LA. I don't know what they're doing there. They seem to be going more down the stupid rabbit hole. Uh, a local cop told me at the end of 22, Governor Pritzker here in Illinois signed a law where He said they're not allowed to make any arrests, only tickets or arrests. Oh, Lord, if there's no consequence, what do you think's gonna happen? See, and I love this argument where I've had some people in my family who say, "Well, you value your stuff more than their life." Well, no, obviously they value my stuff more than their life. It's the other way around. Um, if there's no consequence, like this dummy in Denver that attacked my colleague's wife, or this other idiot we had out here who was he was running around being stupid and got in a shoving match with a cop, and then everyone from a local beer joint saw the cop in the shoving match, and like 20 of these roughnecks and cowboys and rancheros all jumped the fence and just went over and steamrolled these guys and basically held them down for the cop to put handcuffs on. Um, they yeah, there you go. I said it backwards. Thank you, Joe. Um, yeah, it if there's no consequence, whether they're mentally insane or not, being insane and being stupid are not the same thing, because I've seen crazy people do the wrong thing and someone punches them in the face, or they get something taken away and they remember that. I don't know uh, why they are letting them get away with it. Oh, wow. Went in hard lockdown with a curfew. So can you go to the grocery store? What time is the curfew? At 5 o'clock? You just came home from work. How are you going to buy groceries? That I don't understand some of what the decisions are. Um, so so I do have a good article, and I think Lucky might like this one because this is kind of in her wheelhouse, logistics and stuff. Um, so this one was from Market Watch. Supply chain disasters actually good news for these three reasons, and they said this supply chain disaster is real. This analyst says, it's absolutely. Yeah, Joe, I'm there with you. Oh, yeah. And I think multiple channels that are in the chat right now, we've all discussed that same topic. You're absolutely spot on. People think that, oh, I control you and I can curse at you and I can do this and that, and I can do whatever I want and nobody can touch me. So when I see you in person, I can do it. And then they physically get grabbed. I can't think the supply chain's local. No, well, this is what this guy's is an analyst, and again, those are, it's like he has an opinion, and it's like a butthole. Everyone has a butthole. Everyone has an opinion, but here's this person's thinking, and I just thought it was a different spin. Um, so this person says straight out, and it is Market Watch, Bets Lilo. Bets Lilo. Who names their kids? Good Lord, Bets Lilo. Isn't that a Disney character, Lilo? Oh, Lilo and Stitch. Anyway, Rona can't spread during those hours. Yeah, and Arlith actually just was talking about the new mayor of New York is trying to clean up the city, and it's going to take him years to make that happen if he can. But according to this analyst, he's saying COVID has rewarded companies uh, who built alternatives into their supply networks. Uh, Air transportation was a costly substitute for water. I don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean. Um, Companies are changing the way they work together. Communications technology company outsources manufacturing to a supplier with a footprint on multiple continents, which enable them to expand. Uh, Up to 85% of a company's environmental impact is in its supply chain. Here we go, the environment again. Companies are responding to investor interest in ESG by tracking the impact of suppliers and customers. So um, they're also saying that they're paying more attention to being more efficient in the way they yeah, no, they can't spread their uh it's more it kind of basically forced companies to get out of the box, and they had to start thinking of better ways to do things if they wanted to stay alive. um St. Patrick's Day, Easter, and spring summer. Well, lucky, it's funny because before Christmas, our Hobby Lobby had very little. It was, I would dare say, sparse. And then maybe like a week and a half before, like 10 days before Christmas itself, we ran in there. My wife needed something, and it was just boom. It was Christmas explosion. The crap was everywhere. Now they're trying to get rid of it because they got it late in the season. So, better than last year. We had a curfew. So wait, so Monique, let me go back up for Monique's. Okay, so 10 to 5. So they're not even letting the restaurants do takeout because they're just going to kill private business up there. Unless that's the goal, is to put everyone on government subsidies. But the money has to come from somewhere. I mean, no, oh yeah, that's yeah, ours didn't have much either, but it seems to have normally, they kind of decorate the Christmas stuff right after Halloween. You start seeing it getting set up. You didn't see anything until like December 15th, December 10th. And then all of a sudden it was like Hobby Lobby exploded with Christmas. But there wasn't as much as I've seen in the past. So what you're thinking above, where St. Patty's Day, Easter, they somebody said, you know what, we don't know what's going on. We're going to order all our shit at once, and that's basically what they did. So, and that's the problem. I don't think they understand. People don't understand the money comes from somewhere. And again, I find the okay, Georgia Peach. Um, where the people go? I just, oh, I don't understand it. Are they still say, hey guys, those of you in the States, am I correct in saying that the stimulus checks ended a while ago and the unemployment checks are back to normal? In other words, if you get laid off, you get whatever X amount you're owed for so many weeks and then it stops, correct? Uh, shit. Or tequila tree. Those would be, well, I guess that would be an agave plant. But I need a money tree. Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, there's still unemployment, but it's the normal unemployment, not like the extended forever unemployment. So they're getting the money from somewhere. And it's funny because our restaurants here are open, and for the most part, actually, I see a lot of restaurants are keeping the masks on in the kitchen, but I guess that's not necessarily a bad thing. I guess it keeps Baba from being put on your food, but unless they don't like you, then they're going to spit in your food anyway. But other than that, it's very normal, you know. And I don't know if Red and Lucky are seeing this, but or Last Standing saw it, but basically, if people wear masks, nobody cares. If you don't wear masks, nobody cares. It's like a decision they make, and off you go. The Merlot tree. Oh, I need to do a wine sampling. That might be my next kitchen video. Um, we got God, what do we get? We got a Sauvignon. We took a road trip to Yano Winery up in Lubbock, and we came back with a bunch of wine before Christmas, and not a lot of it got drank or drunk or no drank. Yeah, it was not consumed. I can't. Yep, no mass. Seen a lot without it, and that might be a good thing to do. They want to make everyone lazy, stupid, and begging for government help. So basically, that sounds like what humans became in. Oh yeah, that that concerns the heck out of me because all you're doing, you're drunk by drinking it. Yeah, no, definitely a Merlot tree. So I don't know if they have a Merlot tree out there. That would be funny as shit, though. Um, yeah, it's I don't know, guys. This is really weird to see the level of no consequence going on in the streets right now. At the same time, the lack of motivation to actually do anything, go to work. Even if you're unemployed and you try to start your own business, uh, EBT benefits. Okay, a run on N95 because of the Megatron variant. Or unless it's like, I'm done. The year already sucks. We're gonna go and we're gonna have wine. I'm done. Uh, it's a so and I find when I look through Market Watch, I find some of the funniest articles that they're really out there. And again, I really believe that I'm a firm believer that the economy, economics, business, and war and all this other stuff are all tied together. Um, and we can go down a whole rabbit hole of conspiracy of how they're tied together and who gets the money. But um, if nothing else, let's have Rona parties already and get it over with. Well, okay, Milkmaid, I got a great one for you. Speaking of Rona parties, so it's gotten to the point that people want to leave states because they're absolutely frustrated. So this person, um, I'm looking for a cannabis friendly, leaning red leaning state with no state income taxes. Where should I retire on 60K a year? Um, I would say Florida, because Texas property tax is pretty high compared to others, but you have no income tax here. So yeah, and they're talking about. I just find that funny. I don't want to be in New Hampshire, Florida, Washington, or too close to California. So it's just funny. Only 8 stacks don't levy an income tax: Alaska, Florida, Nevada, South Dakota, Texas, Tennessee, Washington, and Wyoming. You don't want Florida, Washington, and Alaska, South Dakota, and Wyoming are likely too cold. That leaves Nevada, a purple state, Texas, and Tennessee, where only medical CBD is allowed. Huh. I just find it funny that I find it funny that all of a sudden people are like, I want to move to red state so I can have pot because I can't afford to live in the state where we voted for dumb shit and now we screwed it up. Why wore one in store today, not me? Oh wow. Yeah, I've read that too. What's funny, my son and daughter-in-law came over for Christmas and he was sick. He got sick. and no one else did. But I suspect my wife and I already had the Rona twice. So at this point, I was like, yeah, if I get sick, whatever. But yeah, he's better now. Although it could have also been booze induced because, we took a little vacation with the newlyweds and then let them be free with their own hotel room as far from us as possible so they could be a couple. And I suspect they got inebriated, so that might be it. But yeah, this latest variant is just we used to have chickenpox parties, but I'm pretty sure I collected a new variant. No, I got it once. Yeah, and in reality, it's the very elderly, underlying conditions. The If you're not in good shape or you have something wrong, it's going to max out your body in certain ways that may cause you a serious problem. But most of us just get made miserable and then we move on. So yeah, I haven't been sick for over 2.5 years. Lemon honey syrup. If you let it ferment, you get mead, and then you won't feel any pain. Um, my wife actually said today, "You have Rona." I said, "Then you do too." She said, "No, I've been vaxxed." No. Well, you could have the Rona and have no symptoms. You could have even if you have the med or no med, it's a moving target. Nobody really knows. They don't know what they're doing. There you go. Lucky's ready for beers. She's like, 2022 sucks already. We're done. Let's have beer now. Uh, but so look, like I said in the articles at the very beginning, and I kind of let the chat fly on this particular. Usually, you guys know me. I try and have like everything laid out. I wanted to let the chat fly a bit today, and we go down the. You can be juiced and still get the Rona. Yeah, and you have Rona. Well, actually, that's become a running joke in the family. Anytime someone sneezes, coughs, farts, the dog farts, dog has the Rona. You know, uh, I see a guy coughing up a lung because he's smoking nasty cigarettes. He has the Rona. Everyone has the Rona. And then people get angry at me because it's like, you're making fun of it. I'm like, well, it's kind of funny at this point. Not that people suffered and died, but good Lord, calm the fuck down. I'm still seeing the other day, I don't know why, I saw someone in a pickup truck with a mask in the truck by themselves, parked, right? And they were in the passenger seat and they were kind of laid out like they fell asleep or they were playing with their phone, whatever. They're just sitting there. I go in the store, I'm there 40 minutes. I come out, the individual still in the car, the vehicle is off with their mask in a car. Well, why'd you even leave the house? Just stay home. I mean, other than giving me something to laugh at and tell all my YouTube friends about, you have no purpose outside. You're not even, it's not like, oh, I'm scared of the Rona, I'll put a mask and I'll go shopping. You didn't even leave the car. Ya pa que, go back home. See, and again, Monique, this is pendejadas. This is another example of a pendeja. Um, no Rona in the mountains of Arkansas. It's beyond. Hey, whoop ass, what's going on? Oh, see, now that's a good way to start the year. Yeah, milkmaid, absolutely. Actually, that was one of my dad's recipes. He would make a Puerto Rican version of like a hot rum drink. It's kind of like a Spanish version of a toddy. And I don't know if it was his excuse to drink rum for no reason, but if he didn't feel good, he'd drink that and he'd watch, Walter Cronkite or whoever the hell was on the news, and He'd have one or two of those, and he was like, "I'm going to bed." And he got up right as rain. So it's got to be something to warming up your body and knocking yourself out for a good night's sleep. Skiing with masks on. I did research. Oh, hold on. Flu was okay. So American Gypsy. I don't know if you heard, but I thought it was with rum. Is it whiskey? I thought it was rum. I might be wrong. You might be right there, Lucky. Well, I guess if you have enough of the alcohol, it doesn't matter what you have because now you don't feel anything. So people walking, people alone walking and driving with an N95. I use rum because I like. Okay, it is, and it's usually a darker rum. I guess you could use a whiskey too, but it's the darker liquors, not like a Bacardi, which would be clear because it's super distilled. It would be more like a Jack Daniels or a bourbon, uh, or like a that Venezuelan rum. Guys, I actually found Venezuelan rum in the store the other day, and it was very good. So, capitalism trying to support the communist regime. Uh, I had to buy it because I knew somebody who was related to one of my colleagues from Venezuela who's now here is probably making a living off of it. So Chavez and his buddies or whatever president they have isn't going to last very much longer. Um, okay, Barb, thanks for stopping in. And we are over an hour, so I'll probably wrap this up here in a little bit. But you have a happy new year as well. Okay, so Monique is whiskey and tea. But I guess you could use the yeah, and I was doing the whiskey sour thing yesterday, and that was nice. Actually, I'll do a review. I should do booze reviews too. I think as part of my kitchen lives, like you'll have the drink of the evening plus the dinner. I think that would be fun as shit. Although it's like here's your healthy dinner and alcohol, kind of. But with this, hold on a second here. So my dad would take two different types of whiskey, uh, and slowly melt down peppermint sticks. Hold on a second here. Here we go. Till it made a thick cough syrup. That's probably where I grew up a whiskey. Oh wow! So he'd slow boil it, the whiskey with. That's probably how you make schnapps too, right? You put some peppermint candy in the alcohol and reduce it to where you get a syrup. Hey, Texas Redleg, what's going on? Yeah, basically, I wouldn't do it with the tequila, and I sure wouldn't put a wine in a hot toddy. I think that would be awful. Well, Arkansas, I think it's the it may be the only product they have because nobody's buying their oil and gas either. So it's like they have rum or cigars. Got some Haitian rum. The rum from Haiti is very good. Um, if you drink too much of it, though, it has a high sugar content. Well, most rum does, but you could wind up with a zinger of a hangover if you don't throw some water in there between the drinks. Uh, but yeah, my husband prefers Bushmills. And see, and we survived that as children. We survived this as kids, and now we have young adults who freak out and they won't exit an elevator because someone is standing in the entryway of the elevator with no mask. Ooh, Jaeger is good. Or Rumple mints, an ounce of rumple mints, and an ounce of, or a half ounce of rumple mints, half ounce of Goldschlager will clear your sinuses for hours. And you have enough of those, you won't feel anything else anyway. But so I guess I should do the yeah, Schnapps, Goldschlager, Fireball. Oof, that's it's technically a Schnapps, I guess, but it's I would much rather have Schnapps. I know why my German friends love that stuff in the winter, because you go outside and it's cold and you take a couple of shots of that and all of a sudden you feel so will Everclear. Everclear will clear you out if it doesn't put you on your ass. Like it will make stuff exit your body in bad ways if you're not careful. That's so now we got into the alcohol discussion. Notice we started with economics. Now we're talking about alcohol. It's all tied together, guys. Um, so, guys, all I can tell you, like I said in the articles early on, the they're still expecting that inflationary effect. It's gonna linger. Uh, what is Everclear? It's like evil moonshine. Uh, it's almost that kind of level where any more would be embalming fluid. Yeah, that's the other good comparisons: paint thinner, radiator fluid, pain thinner. Well, it is a pain thinner. You drink enough Everclear, and your buddy comes and smacks you in the back of the head. You're not going to feel it. So you weren't wrong there, Lucky, at all. You were kind of accurate. Uh, yeah, but you guys make moonshine in Virginia. Yeah, everywhere else in Texas, nobody wants to make moonshine because you have whiskeys and rums from Louisiana. So hot spiced wine. So I had that in Austria, and it was really yummy. And then I came here, and a friend tried to recreate what was made, and that failed very badly, to where people were drinking and going "Mm," and running outside, even though they hadn't really drank anything, and trying to throw it up because it was so awful. So yeah, be careful. I've drank a quart of Everclear more. Hey, hey, comrade, what's going on? And by the way, if you guys want to learn about radio, that guy. Red leg, I have not had that, believe it or not. So, prickly pear moonshine. You know what? I told Sassy, I said if I leave the energy sector and stop being an engineer and opening a bar, because truthfully, going out and drowning your sorrows has been a human thing since like the Egyptians. Okay, that shit never went anywhere. Even Jesus and the disciples would have wine in the guest house. The Romans, the the ancient Hebrews, throughout history, people were miserable and they went and drank stuff. So that is the one of the perpetual businesses that will never go away. So um, I'll tell you what, that would be fun to open a bar and do YouTubes out of my own bar. That would be a hoot. Really, we tried to get some few, and they said they can't sell it in Virginia. I think they don't want competition to their own moonshine. Yeah, and check out his channel. Texas Redleg has a channel also, I believe. Arkansas Whoop Ass. There are quite a few uh, creators in there. So, guys, if you want to put a hands up, if have a channel or you're trying to start one, by all means, at least let it be known, and the folks can search for you. Um, Grapefruit wine. Ooh, I don't like grapefruit at all. I could that would be one flavor. That and peaches. Ugh, nope, that's not bueno. But well, folks, like I've been saying, endless supply of prickly pears out there. This is true. This is true, especially out in our neck of the woods. Redleg and I are not very far apart. So, Redleg, just so FYI, there are about 8 Texans in the chat right now. So, uh, you're in good companies, and a bunch of folks from Canada, which uh, Canada's a fun place. Well, not right now. Apparently, they're under curfew and lockdowns again, and all sorts of stuff. So, that's not fun. But you're going to see that inflation still out there. Guys, just plan around it, right? We can't change it. Plan around it, set that money aside, look for those sales. A lot of stuff started going on sale. Lucky and I were in the chat earlier discussing it. Stores are getting their supplies late, or they're getting it the wrong time, and so they're trying to move stuff because like the Christmas decoration showed up too late. So excuse me. So try to take advantage of those sales. If you see something on sale in another area, when I got my stand-up freezer, I couldn't find it in my area. It was another city over. It's about an hour drive, not a big deal. I had to go there anyway for operations, meetings. So I hauled ass out there, ordered it online, had it waiting for me, and I went by the Walmart and picked it up. But if it's something in another distance where you can't jump in there, yourself, talk to somebody, order it, have someone else pick it up for you. And then at some point you arrange to meet. All right. You're cutting down your logistics. If they can't deliver it, try to order it and have it picked up by a friend. And then you guys connect at a later time. Uh, but Susanna, no, I have not heard from Susanna. Thank you, Loretta and Lucky, for posting everyone's stuff. So you haven't seen Rhyme of the Ancients in a while? Now that you mention it, I haven't either. Not even in. Yeah, Lucky's got this stuff, the ninja skilled. Uh, Absolutely, and thank you guys for joining me. Yeah, guys, ladies and gentlemen, plan around it. You saw the weather video earlier. Okay, we're going to get really bad freezing temperatures pretty much across anything north of San Antonio. Actually, even Houston on the coast is going to have a freeze alert tonight or tomorrow. I can't remember which. So, yeah, and Milkmaid, let us know what you hear. But folks, work around it. Try to work with those. I mean, we know the inflation's there, so there's no point freaking out about it. Now it's time to maneuver and get around the problem. Uh, 10 degrees Fahrenheit in the morning here with wind chill 8. Oh, yeah, we're gonna be 20 where I am, but I think we're being saved partly by some weird Pacific wind that's gonna kind of clip that cold a little bit, but um oh god, my cats ran away. I gotta find those 2 assholes. Oh, stupid ass cat. And I try and grab him, and he's like, "Rrr," and he runs away. And then it agitates me. So I'm like, fine, stay outside. And 2 in the morning, then we're crying because we're like, it's cold, I'm dying. So technically, they're working cats. They're on property, but when it gets below, it starts getting into freezing, I catch them and I stick them in the garage for the night. Uh, All right, no worries. Thank you, Milkmaid. You guys be safe. Oof, you can no, I don't want -4. Finish my knit wool cap. Yeah, Lucky's been doing a lot of knitting lately. That's really cool too, by the way. Um, yeah, enjoy dinner. Y'all be safe, guys. Remember, we got cold for the next 4 days to a week. Um, there's going to be wind, and some areas are seeing tropical storm force, which normally is just really freaking windy. but you add freezing precipitation and cold, and that's an excellent opportunity to get in a car wreck. So plan your trips and check your tires before you get on the road, because those big swings in temperature may deflate your tires. I actually have a portable pump to pump up my own tires because that happens every now and then. So, guys, just ladies and gentlemen, back away from it. Look at the weather in your area. Make sure check on your precipitation, your wind chill. If you got to bring pets in, bring them in, or at least attempt to bring them in. I don't know. I might get one and not the other one. But until next time, guys, God bless. Be safe. And, let's start 2022 the right way. Take the steps you need to take to put you where you need to be in case something happens. I mean, preparedness is all about getting through hardship, regardless of what it is, whether it's the Rona or zombies or you get laid off. So take that time, plan. 2022, we got this. We just got to be organized and keep on top of it. So until next time, you guys take care. I'm gonna go. I got some stuff to do myself. So you guys be safe out there.